So I just sat down and watched the first two episodes of Netflix's Fuller House. I grew up in the 90s on the original series. It's something that we watched as a family like every Friday night when it was airing, and we watched all the reruns and stuff. And I feel like I can quote episodes that I haven't seen in 20 years. That's how much I grew up on Full House. So I was like, alright, Fuller House came out today. Let's give it a looky-loo and see how it is. And it is exactly like the original Full House, in that maybe about 40% of the jokes hit, and even then I only laugh because they're absurdly cheesy, but it hits the nostalgia button really, really, really hard. So if you grew up with the show, it's one of those things like, it feels like you're watching an original episode and you feel like a kid again, almost, watching bad sitcoms. I appreciate that they did it. They did it for camera with a live studio audience. I assume it was a live studio audience. There's a laugh track at least. So it feels like the old ones. The set looks exactly the same. Kimmy Gibbler hasn't changed in 30 years. She looks exactly the same. As does, what's his face? Uncle Jesse. What's that actor's name? John Stamos. John Stamos. I figured it out.
He does yogurt commercials.
He does. And he does those great college humor videos where he's snuggling with Bob Saget. Oh.
That was a yogurt commercial too, wasn't it?
I think they did that as a yogurt commercial. Anyway, so yeah, it's not anything like spectacular or new. It is just a stroll down memory lane. They even do, in the first episode, this really awkward split screen side by side of them reenacting a scene from the very first episode of the original show. And the second episode is the same plot as the first or second episode from the original show. So it's like they're treading over the same ground, just with cell phones.
I just wanted to say, shout out to the original Full House, because I commented to him while we were watching it. The show released in 2016 is the one dealing with a single mother instead of, well, technically two, but whatever, is the one dealing with single motherhood. And the show that was released in 87 was the one that was dealing with single fatherhood. So you know what? Shout out to the original Full House for dealing with an issue that was not addressed at all in media. No. Good job, guys. 2 for you, Glenn Coco.
Who? Feminism aside, it's something that I may continue to watch, but in the sense that I'll throw it on in the background while I'm doing other things, because that's pretty much how I watched the original series. It was on in the background while we were eating dinner, or I would play on my Game Boy or something while my sister watched it, that kind of thing. So it's just a nostalgic boost, I guess. It'll be interesting to see where they go with it. The kid actors aren't terrible.
Great.
They're not great, but neither were the original cast when they first started, so I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt in that for some of them I'm sure it's their first TV show, probably first one in front of a live audience or 4-camera style. I'm not actually sure if it is a live audience. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and maybe season 2 they'll get better and they'll grow over time, because that's what kid actors do. I just think it's interesting that there are notorious stories from the original run of the kids and growing up, and like Jodie Sweetin ended up getting into drugs or something, allegedly, and I just think it's interesting that those 3 kids are like the picture of child actors in the 90s, and now they're all coming back to do another show that involves child actors. It's like a recurring cycle that we're getting into with kid actors. I don't know. That's a discussion that I'm not qualified to have. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. It's alright. Tomorrow I'm gonna look at, in honor of Black History Month, and the last day of it, I'm gonna look at a little movie that came out last year called Dope. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll see you tomorrow.